هلا يا جماعة. welcome. بس النور هلا. بس بتريا كم دقيقة وإن شاء الله ببدأ. آسفة تأخرت عليكم and we had a technical difficulty. صوتي واضح؟ Okay, so is everyone ready to hear more about plastics? Thank you for everyone who's waving. I'm waving back. I think we can start because already I think I was a bit delayed. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to another session of We Are Always With You, an initiative by Abuظbي Public Health Center that started around 13 weeks ago. First I'd like to introduce myself. My name is الحاج and I'm a sustainability lead specialist in the Occupational and Environmental Health Department in Abuظbي Public Health Center. And today I'm going to talk about plastics, or I would like to call it the 3 Ps, plastic products post-COVID. Of course, plastics is a very broad thing, so I'm just going to take up one aspect of it, inshallah. Okay? So before I get into it, what is it that we know about plastics? Okay, plastic is a word that means pliable and easily shaped. It's only recently that it became the name of a category of materials called polymers. Polymers means of many parts. So what are plastics made of? 99% of what goes into plastics are fossil fuels. That's why you see that most of the big companies that produce oil are the same companies that are manufacturing of plastic products. The commercial production of plastics started in the 1950s. So not a very long time ago, around 70 years back. So just to come and think about all these things that we're using plastics of now. Now we have reached around 330 million metric tons of plastic. Now there's a lot of plastics all around us. And I'm sure you're wondering, why is someone from Abuظbي Public Health Center talking about plastics? Isn't plastics an environmental health issue? Also, when you talk about plastics, you think about plastics and its impact on the environment, plastics harming wildlife, plastics in the ocean. So why is someone from Abuظbي Public Health Center should be concerned about plastics? Isn't it clearly just an environmental issue? Well, there are a few recent studies that suggest that plastic also harm human health. The small particles of plastic harm human health. I have actually 2 products in my hand, okay, that are made out of plastic. Yes, this is a credit card. I'm gonna hide the numbers. So this is a credit card that's made out of plastic, and this is a plastic clothes hanger that's made out of plastic. Now, based on what I said right now, that plastics harm human health, why do you think, I would like this to be more of an interactive session, so why do you think I'm holding these 2 items in my hand? I would like you to, guess with me. So I'm holding 2 pieces, for the people who are just joined, we're talking about plastics, and I'm holding 2 items made out of plastic, okay? And I said that plastics harm human health. So how do you think, or why do you think I'm holding 2 items, or these in specific, these 2 items that are made out of plastic? And I said that it's harming human health. How could plastics harm us? I would like to hear I would like to see anyone, like, with the comments, suggestions. Give me like a wild guess. 2 different types of plastic, okay. Mostly used by people at home in their pockets, okay. With shopping also, with their credit card. What else? So how can this harm humans? How can this harm humans? Daily used items, yeah. It doesn't break down. That's how much plastic we consume. I like that. Someone is doing someone is an environmental activist here. Okay, so we got one of the people who actually suggested something. There are studies that suggest that we consume as humans around 5 grams of plastic per week, an equivalent to weight of a credit card. Can you imagine? We consume an amount of credit card per week. A hanger, we consume the amount or weight of a hanger in 5 weeks. So plastics do harm human health, or there's a suggestion that plastics do harm human health. It's not conclusive, but just to think about it. Human health, or humans, we're actually ingesting plastic. So I will get back to how we're ingesting plastics and everything. Microplastics, yes, or particles of plastics. Yep. So to get back to how much plastic are there, and like, what do we know about plastics? Why is it, why are we like thinking that this should be, just a second. Sorry, I just got a notification about the battery. Bear with me. Okay, let's use a different phone. Okay, yeah. The amount of 5 grams of plastic per week and around 21 grams of plastic in 5 weeks, or that's what the study suggests. Of course, there's no conclusive evidence of that, but it is there. So the commercial production of plastic started in the 1950s, and now we have reached around 330 million metric tons annually. That's equivalent to the weight of 7 billion people. To all the 7 billion people on Earth, that's the same of the amount of plastic that's been produced, okay? Now, I'm sure plastics is quite important. It has increased popularity due to its relative low cost. It's very versatile, it's very durable. I'm sure if you look around you in the house, there are many items that are made of plastic. Like now, for me, just looking around me, I can see toys, furniture, pipes, wires, packaging, furniture, even in the cars. Also, the health industry has a lot of plastic that's being used for the equipment, for the vaccines, in the ICUs. So plastics is also important, okay? And out of all the plastics that ever existed, more than half was produced in the last 15 years, and 91% of these plastics has never been recycled, okay? Now, there was a study by the World Economic Forum that said that globally, 32% of plastic packaging goes to the environment. 40% of plastics goes to landfill. 14% of plastics gets incinerated. And of course, we know when there's incineration of plastics, also there's an impact on human health and wildlife. And only 14% unfortunately gets recycled. Out of this 14% that gets recycled, only 2% is effectively recycled as to its original form. So only 2% is back to the original form when we say that things are being recycled. So this is something to ponder on when we think about plastics and use it. There is also a speculation that by 2050, the year 2050, there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish by weight. So imagine all the ocean. Of course, the ocean is very big. There's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Okay? And since plastic particles are in the environment, in the ocean, so it also enters the food chain. Okay? We ingest plastic through the food that we eat, through the air that we breathe, the microplastics, okay, or plastic particles, or through the water system, okay, or the water drinks, when we drink water. There are studies show, okay, that plastic particles are found in 83% of tap water and globally, and 93% of bottled water. Now, scientists still don't know quite how much of these plastic particles are we like tolerating. So I mean, I'm sure, like, alhamdulillah, our human body is very smart, and it gets it eliminates toxins. But how much can the body tolerate, or how much damage can it do? How much leaves our body, and how many particles stays in the body? Since plastics hasn't, like, not a lot of studies have been conducted about plastics, so there are still research that are being conducted about this. Now, there is a possibility that these unidentified chemicals in the plastic particles can have an impact on the human health. How? It can actually, like, disrupt the reproductive hormones with the women, the estrogen levels. It interferes with the endocrine system function. It can cause irritation to the eyes, skin, and breathing. Especially, like, with the skin and breathing, when there's incineration of plastics, with the fumes coming out, with the workers who are inhaling these plastic particles, I'm sure they get a lot of particles that they're ingesting. Okay, so that actually is quite bad for the air quality that we have. And there isn't a lot of studies about the air quality in terms of plastic particles that is suspended in the air. We talk about the dust, the CO2s, the NOx, and all these things, but there isn't also a measure or like a threshold for plastic particles in the air. Okay, there is some indication it could be linked to cancer and obesity as it accumulates on the fat cells. So what about here in the UAE? Okay, or even I think I would say in the Gulf, or I mean just taking UAE as an example. In the UAE, we consume around 11 billion plastic bags per year, okay, and that's equivalent to an average of 1,182 plastic bags per person per year. So each one of us is almost using 1,182 plastic bags per person per year, and that is triple the global average. So and also, like, now during COVID, okay, plastics during COVID, we noticed that in restaurants, a lot of the restaurants were using plastic plates and plastic utensils. A few restaurants now are back to using the normal ceramic and glass plates, but I'm sure that I'm talking about the plastic consumption increase during the COVID time. This is for like restaurants, or even with packaging, with delivery. On a personal level, I'm sure during the pandemic there has been an increase in demand to the personal protective equipment, the PPE, especially masks and gloves. Since we're all advised, of course, to wear the gloves, okay? So there was an increase in demand, of public demand for masks and gloves, okay? And I'm sure that you have noticed that, unfortunately, the masks and the gloves weren't appropriately disposed. You go on the streets and you see masks everywhere. People haven't been disposing it the right way, and these unfortunately go into, like, they wash into the water system, and they clog drains, and they can cause a lot of impact on the drainage and the workers. So I would suggest also with plastic masks, even when they get disposed, you can say, okay, they're plastics, they might get recycled, but there are suggestions that for the masks that we're using, it should be bagged separately and disposed as general waste due to health hygiene and for us to protect the workers also. Okay, so it is. Actually, I would like to ask a question from, like, looking around you, or what is the most plastic item that you use on a daily basis? Let me know give me one plastic item that you feel that you cannot go without, you cannot live without. Or you can live without, or something, or with an alternative, but one plastic item that you use on a daily basis. So give me some examples of one plastic item that you use on a daily basis. Water bottles. Bottles, yes. Plastic bags. Water. Okay. A lot of water bottles. kitchen utensil containers. Supermarket plastic bags, I'm assuming. Plastic bags. My remote control. The good thing is the remote control is reusable. Not a lot of harm. Earbuds, okay. Plastic bags. So the common answer is I can see plastic bags and water bottles, right? Phone charger, yes? A reusable item. So always I say plastics. I mean, I'm not saying right now, don't live without plastics, throw all the plastic items, okay? So there are plastic items that we cannot live without. I mean, it made our life easier. Definitely, plastic did make our life easier, okay? However, the main thing, okay, that actually harms the environment and is being studied, and as you saw that 11 billion plastic bags are used in the UAE. So can you imagine, this is the main thing that we use, okay? 11 billion plastic bags in UAE. This is, we're a population of 10 million, so basically all of us are just like going around and carrying bags. So garbage bags, Baskin-Robbins spoons, so yes, utensils, okay. I like the Baskin-Robbins spoon. Might go get some Baskin-Robbins, but I'll use a reusable spoon. Okay, so I wouldn't like to be just negative and tell you not to just to use, not to use plastics or anything, but I would also like to come up with a suggestion, with alternatives. So I have with me a few alternatives to plastics. The main thing, okay, that I'm sure all of you can do, and there's no better way to start than this month. Do you know why? Because right now we are in July, and it's Plastic-Free July. It isn't a real initiative. I'm not making this up, although I wish I did. But the month of July is Plastic-Free July. This is an initiative that was started in Australia, and it's caught up with the rest of the world. So I think, as in the Arab world, or all of us who don't know about this initiative, could start now. And I think we should start with this month. If we want to do a change, we can just start from tomorrow. How about that? So I think each one of us can actually do a small change, and I'll show you how we can do it. Since I was talking about masks and plastic masks, another suggestion is the cloth masks are reusable, okay? They're actually good, and it's advised that you can actually wear them, and it can, it can have the same effect. It's reducing the contamination, right? So you have these like material ones. I have this one here, and it's bought in the shops. Look at this, it's actually good. The material is nice. I have different types, all right? I think I'm a bit too close to the screen. So does everyone here use plastic ones, which is called the surgical masks, or most of you do have these trendy ones? Of course, these are, you can find them in all shops. There are different companies, different makes. So that could be one thing to start with the masks. Since everyone is, is using the surgical masks, we can actually, reduce the load on the environment by buying these reusable ones, okay? So this is one thing for the masks, all right? And then you mentioned that one of the main things also you have is plastic bottles. Plastic bottles are not recyclable, okay? They are made of PET. They're not recyclable, and they really harm the ocean. So another thing is these bottles, okay? They're made out of glass, or you can even have them made out of reusable plastic. So plastic that you can actually wash, and you can easily wash this with warm water and soap. Okay, so you can use this one. I usually have this one, and actually can put some fruits inside. I have these bottles. So if you don't want it to break, there's this cover here, protective cover, in case it falls. All right. So this is another item. So this is item number 2. One is masks. You can use reusable masks. Okay. Number 2, plastic bottles. Instead of plastic bottles, use this. Take them with you everywhere. Every day, everywhere I go, and especially those who love to drink water, I'm sure they understand that using this is the best thing for the environment. Yeah? You like the purple one? Okay, it's from Suma. You can actually order it online. Okay, so I still didn't read all the questions. I'll do that in a bit. I'll just give you other suggestions. Another thing, okay, plastic bags, you said, okay, when you go shopping, take these, okay. Now this one, sorry, I'm a bit too close, I think. Okay, so this one is from Carrefour, okay, and there are many like this. This is just an example. And a lot of shops now, because a lot of people are being more and more aware of the environment, so a lot of them are using products that are reusable. I mean, this is durable. It's better than taking a plastic bag and it just gets ruined or torn in the middle of the getting the shopping inside, okay? Also, there are these bags for the vegetables, for any kind of vegetables or fruits, from Carrefour also. You can find them. And these you can put all the fruits inside, all the vegetables. Look at this. It's breathable, the fruits stay fresh, okay? And you can put them in the fridge and you can wash them after that with warm water and soap, all right? So this is another thing. Kia is good with paper bags, yes, because, yes, that's good. Always carrying the bags, that's very good. I like that. So, for the coffee lovers, okay, you can actually buy these, okay? Eco bamboo fiber cup, all right? And this one, I would like actually to read this. It says somewhere here, okay, this is an important thing, by the way, when you buy items, okay? It says bamboo, corn powder, resin, and biodegradable. So when they say bamboo, or it's what it's called, it's PET, it's biofeasible, okay? So basically, sometimes you see something that's made out of ingredients like cellulose or like from plants, but they don't say the word biodegradable. I would say avoid those. It has to have the combination of made out of plants or ingredients that can biodegrade. Okay, so it has to have the both combinations: biodegradable and made out of items that are from the environment. Okay, if it just says it's made out of plants or bamboo or here, what does it say? Okay, corn powder. Okay, without saying biodegradable, it isn't environmental friendly. So it has to have the combination of both. Okay, so this one for the coffee lovers, you can use this. All right, you can buy all these things from Carrefour, from any of the big shopping places, or you can find them online also. Yeah. So this is another item. I have many items here. All right. Instead of plastic plates, bamboo plates. These are actually very good. I tried them a few times. They're very durable. They're actually very good, and they don't harm the environment. And they look trendy. They look pretty cool, I say. Yeah. So this is another item. All right. And instead of plastic containers, okay. Sometimes, okay, if you throw the plastic container, that's not very feasible, but if you use other ones, there are these containers that are made out of glass. Just to reduce that plastic impact in case of ingestion or anything, to reduce that. So these also containers that are made out of glass, okay, and you can freeze them, you can put them in the fridge, and they're very strong, yeah. I had this, okay. And also the cling film. You know, the cling film, and when we throw them away, we just think, oh, it's just a very thin layer, I'm just going to use it for a little bit. The cling film actually stays in the environment and doesn't decompose for around 25 to 1,000 years. So that small thing that you're using just to cover the bowl of fruit is staying in the environment for 1,000 years almost. Okay, so instead of that, there are these. They're pretty nice and cool, and they have a smiley face. See, that's the best thing about it. Here. So there are these. They have different shapes and sizes in most of the shops, Carrefour. And then you can actually, you have different sizes, but they're also stretchable. So it can keep your food fresh. And you can put it in the fridge. It's environmental friendly. These are one of the best items, honestly. Okay. If you want to go for the extra mile, all right, instead of using toothpaste, you can have this. Well, I bought this from Lush, but you can buy it from online or anywhere. these are like tablets as toothpaste, and they're really good, and they whiten teeth. So this is another thing. And finally, I have here, okay, a bamboo toothbrush. Why did I keep this to last? Okay, do you know that the first toothbrush that was ever manufactured still exists somewhere in this world? So just think about it, all these toothbrushes that are around the world, and the first toothbrush that was ever manufactured still exists somewhere in this world. Yeah, so this is another alternative to toothbrushes. So I think I'm not going to go into details. There are many things that you can think about and you can use as alternatives. These were just some of the main ones, but you can. I mean, this is like, I know that some people will say, okay, well, when I buy this, I mean, how much toothpaste can I buy? That's going to be so expensive. Well, this is your call to make. So do you want to go for something more natural, something that will not harm the environment? Or you can go, I mean, you can just balance between things. You can say, okay, from tomorrow, no more plastic bags, all right? And you can take it bit by bit. I wanted to get you an example for plastic bottles. I wanted to get a plastic bottle, and I'm happy to say, I don't want to brag, but I'm happy to say that I didn't find a single plastic bottle in the house, okay? Like those, the single-use plastic. So I would just have these, all right? Which are the reusable ones, glass or plastic or anything, but as long as I don't have the single plastic use, yeah? Now, I think I said so much. I don't know if you guys have any other alternatives that you would like to mention. Anyone has any other alternative to plastic that I haven't mentioned? Wooden hairbrush, yes, that's very good, yeah. What else? Clay, yes. I actually like to drink water from the clay pot. It's always cool. It always like gives, and gives you that taste. I feel it's it gives me enough minerals in the body, and it's always like the right temperature when I drink from a clay pot. Yes, everyone can definitely make changes with a bit of dedication. Straws, yes, Sarah, that's very good. Also, straws is one of the things that you can use, and straws kill millions of marine animals annually, especially turtles and whales and sharks. So definitely straws is the way to go. I actually don't have straws. It's because I don't use a lot of drinks, and otherwise if I did use, if I did have drink any soda or fresh juices, I would definitely have a alternative type of straw. Is it safe to use metal straw? Yes, it is safe to use the metal straw. It's fine, as long as you wash it properly. So there's no harm to use the metal straw, as long as, of course, you need to wash it properly, and it always comes with a brush. So there's no harm in that. As long as you're using the proper brush, you're going to be more afraid of the pathogens or like the bacteria on it, rather than what's about the metal itself. Poor turtles, I know. Even turtles, the plastic bags that we throw, the turtles, and this is an information that was said to my son. My son told me once he knew I was going to do a session about plastics. He said, turtles tend to eat the plastic bags in the ocean because turtles like jellyfish. So they mistaken the plastic bags with jellyfish. So they end up eating the plastic bags and either choking on it or just dying from the toxins. Water filters for drinking water instead of having bottles. Yep, that's also a very good suggestion. لا تعورين قلبي أكثر. جمول, I have to enlighten, I have to give you this information. I was very shocked when I knew we consume this one in five weeks. I consume this, but alhamdulillah, I'm sure that the human body can eliminate toxins, but we don't want to take the risk. There's no conclusive evidence of how much we can eliminate, so we have to be careful, inshallah. From now on, all of us have to make a change. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if I answered all the questions before. I think there were a few questions that were. Okay, thank you everyone for listening and for the suggestions. Yeah. So thank you so much for listening and attending this session. I hope you're gonna start doing some kind of small changes. Just remember, each one of us, don't underestimate what you can do as an individual, or what impact you have, you know. So with you, if you're in the family, you can just start with small changes, and you be the role model for your son, for your little brother, for your sister, for everyone around you. So don't underestimate what little changes you can do. From tomorrow, start buy, you know, another bottle. It might be more expensive, like let's say this one. It could be more expensive than the single-use plastic bottles. But what about on the long run? On the long run, you're going to have something that's environmental friendly. It's made out of glass, or even the other ones that are reusable, and it has less impact on the environment. So it's a win-win situation. So each one of us can do something, and we can do an impact. Don't underestimate the impact that you can do as an individual on society, on the environment. Yeah. So thank you so much everyone for attending. Yes, some people say, what's the point? But if everyone does just a little, the world would be a better place. I think I'm going to conclude with that statement. The world will be definitely a better place if each one of us has a small change. Whether you want to start with plastic bags, using the reusable plastic bags, or if you want to start with the plastic bottles, straws, or whatever that you are using on a daily basis that you can substitute with something else. All right. Thank you everyone for attending the session, and I hope you can start making the change from tomorrow, because remember, it's plastic-free July. All right. There's no better month to start than now. Thank you everyone, and take care.